Hello everyone, this is your Pokemon Professor Valkit aka Professor Val. Welcome to week 5 of transfers and next matchups. Basically, Pickems for the week. The SPL League match previews are here. So for a refresher, if you forgot, this were our week 4 picks. This were the teams we picked to win the matchup for the week. Steve, Kurpie, Standard, 812, DRey and Dapper. And we did not get all correct again this week, and here are the results for those who participated with me for the Pickems. We got at least 4 correct. Steve is there. Nova winning the second match was impressive, and Kurpie losing that, I thought Kurpie had that game. Standard we predicted, Dapper and DRey we predicted it, but DyeItTight had a terrible matchup into 8-12 and he came up victorious. I don't know how. I know how. I watched the game, but that was an amazing trap coming up from his side. But we only got a few MVPs correct. DashingSceptile, like we said, did get it. Infername, even though it did not win the match, it tied with the other kill leaders, but I think maybe Wake will be getting that MVP, so I think only one. But yeah, the other MVP we selected did tie up to that, and outside that I think none of the picks we made was the MVP for the week. Okay, so let's talking about the other part of the video. Let's move to the changes we had this week. We had a few changes coming up from the side of coaches. Firstly, we have TJ making some changes to his roster. TJ has dropped 2 of the mons by saying a few changes made by other coaches the previous week. He jumped up to the side and dropped 2 mons. Terra Bravery, which I think he did not bring once this season, and Overquill. Overquill I think was just because the points he needed to do it. So the changes are the Terra Bravery has been dropped. For Cyclizar, Overquill has been switched to just Quillfish. I think that's just a point thing, and the Terra has been moved to our one and only Rotom. And I think it was made just so the rapid spin pressure is removed from Quavel, so it can go on more offensive Wincons sets, as Cyclizar will be helping with the spins. So this were the changes which was made by TJ. Not a huge change. I think we can call it just one change, because Overquill into HQuill was just because of the point system, I think. Let's move to the second transition this week, which was made by DRey. DRey has done a few changes. He has dropped a total of 3 mons, including his Terra Captain Superior, and has picked up few other mons as well, in which a new and amazing Terra Captain, which we all wanted to see, has joined the reigns, and it's gonna be a Terra Gothitelle. It's gonna be very interesting to watch. Shadow Tag being legal, it's an amazing mon to be seen here for sure. And for the grass type, he has gone to the Serena, so as he's not forced to defog and can also spin to remove hazard sit versus him, and has gone to another Hail user. Even though Alolan and Slash did put in work last week, it has been changed to Titan. Let's see, maybe because of Belly Drum and Citrus set inside the Hail, which can be very good for sure. I think that's the only change coming up from the side of DRey, and we have a huge change in the end. The third coach for the week which has made some changes is Dashing. Dashing has made a huge change to his roster. He has dropped a lot of mons. He has dropped a total of 5 mons, but he has used up all of his 7 FAs. All of the 7 allotted for the season has been used, and you will say how he only dropped 7. 5 is because he picked up 5 new mons in his place, shifted a Terra, and was able to pick up another extra mon. So it now consists of the top 3 remain same, because of him being ground weak, he has went to Terra Casilia for his levitating. Pre-Marina is there. Hexerus has come. The Terra from Lycan Rock has been removed. And we can see the last two changes. Even Dustclops has been switched to Spidops. There are Thundi T, and Lokix has joined the team of DashingSceptile. That's it for the changes for the week 5. Many teams are full of their FAs and won't be making any changes moving forward. So let's move to the matchups, which is gonna be first matchup is TJ versus Kaz Shiro. So for the matchup this week, the big mons this matchup would be Meow, Lando, Garnet, Terra Hoopa, and Terra Spatra. For me, the 6 I see coming here are obviously gonna be Meow, Lando, Terra Spatra, H-Quill, so he does not struggle with toxic spikes. The last two are very hard and depends on the route he goes. Maybe AV Max Speed Cyclizar to Speed Tie Taunty along with either of the water types, or even Terra Rotom for the last lot. While on the other side, I think Terra Hoopa, Galarian Weezing, Taunty, Gouging Fire, Voger, and Donphan are fixed for this roster. In terms of matchup, as usual, TJ has better pivots in Meow, Lando, and Cyclizar with Newton, while Rotom can hold almost freely with Aloe forced into flip in this matchup due to Water Ogapon, Wellspring having Water Absorb. While on Kaz and Shiro, Taunty, Voger can only pivot from the 6 I see coming this week. But in terms of checks, they do have a better answer, like we talked about. Wellspring, Ogapon with Water Absorb, which can stop Aloe from pivoting around, doing all the reaching shenanigans it does, and stop Aqua Stab when gone from Coco Owl. Also, Helmet G-Weezing from Meow, while on TJ, Lando Eye will be a great check to force G-Weezing out from Meow, but I think there's one set I almost like to run, a C to be run against, Meow versus a Weezing matchup. It's just trick Meow's Karada on an obvious G-Weezing switch in the early game or mid game. Whenever you see a G-Weezing is gonna switch into you, you can just trick him, a bad item, force him, and take the helmet away. So Meow is so freely to move around. And just kinda neuter it, while giving it choice band or choice cup. And also not take any helmets. For me, I think Meow's Karata and Lando needs to be the breaking mon offensively, while Rotom and H-Quill can break them with a combination of Will-O-Wisp or Volt Switch from Rotom, and Spikes and Poison from H-Quill, be it by Barrage, Toxic Spikes, or Toxic. Any form of Toxic and Spikes can make a clear endgame with Terra Spatra to win it. While Kaz and Shiro needs Hoopa to be the breaker this week instead of a cleaner, along with Taunty, so DD Gouging Fire can set up in the endgame and clean it up before Terra Spatra can become an issue. For me, the prediction would be Meow or Terra Spatra, because this matchup really favors TJ if Weezing is dealt with and does not cause a lot of issue to his physically offensive mons, either with Trick Meow or Psychic Lando Eye taking down Weezing. Let's move on to second matchup of the week. We have Nova versus Talon. For me, the big ones this matchups are gonna be Tusk, Bass Caliber, and Walking Wake. The 6 which I can see make the cut this week are gonna be Terrapagos, Cinderace, Walking Wake, Rillaboom, Alolan Muck, and Terra Rhydon for Nova. While for Talon side, I would bring the combination of Tusk, Samurott, Hisuian, Zapdos, Baxcalibur, Boulder, and Hydreigon. These are the 6 I would be the one bringing in this matchup. For Nova, he has some nice decent pivots in Newton, Ace, and Rillaboom, while Walking Wake can flip to match the momentum. Even though Sandy Sharks can Volt, I don't think we can see a Terra Sandy coming this week, while on Talon's side, his only pivots are like Samurott with Flip and Zapdos with alongside Hydreigon with U-turn, which are threatened by Flame Body Heat Ran. And because Zapdos isn't free to Volt Switch with 2 grounds on the side of Nova, one of which can even Terra and have Lightning Rod to punish it with alongside Terra as well. For defensive checks, I think Tusk with Helmet can punish a lot of Cinderace, Rillaboom and Rhydon. Outside, Cinderace with Will-O-Wisp, while Samurott is very good to check Heatrans, Dual Stab, while Bax can punish any Terra Flying shenanigans because Terra Fly Rhydon kinda falls, just checks Zapdos and throws off strong Terra Blast for Tusk while using its stabs for other monsters like Baxcalibur, Rock Slides for Baxcalibur, Earthquake for what's his name? Boulder, sorry for that. Yeah, Boulder and like stuff like that. So I think that can be a good bring from the side of Nova. For breakers, I think Cinderace, Terrapagos and Rhydon needs to break so Nova can have a clean endgame with a walking break. While for the side of Talon, Tusk needs to be breaking a lot of mons defensively, while Hydreigon alongside Hamlet offensively with attacks or spikes with Ceaseless or so Dragon Dance, Baxcalibur sweep in the end. Once Heatran goes out, Baxcalibur can outspeed Nova's team. Once it does, no heat sees no Heatran and it's able to outspeed every mon on the side of Nova and Terrapagos shell is broken. Then Baxcalibur with a combination of Glaive Rush, Icicle Spear and Ice Shard can just solo the team. So let's move on to the third matchup of the week, which is gonna be Standard versus Dapper. In this matchup, I think it's very one-sided. When you see, for me, the biggest mon in this game are gonna be Moon, Bolt, Lando T, and Greninja. The 6 from both sides for me would be Moon, Scizor, Terra Shaman, Bolt, and Enamorus. I think Terra Shaman needs to come this week instead of Rhyperior because of how little special defense Rhyperior has. While Dye can have a combination of Lando T, Greninja, Ogerpon, Heartflame, Blastoise, and both the Terra captains in Fez and Baskel region can come here. My reasoning for those are gonna be because Greninja either needs to be Scarf routine or it's gonna be a Specs Battle Bond. Because Specs Battle Bond has no answer. The only option to revenge a Specs Battle Bond Greninja is Thunderclap from Raging Bolt or Bullet Punch from Scizor, which it resists. I once ran a quick attack on Scizor just so it does not resist a stab Bullet Punch. So I think those are the only two answers which he has a great switch into. Intem, Helmet, Lando. It is immune to Thunderclap, any electric move. Raging Bolt can go, will it resist? At least can punish Scizor going for Bullet Punch with Intem, lower its attack and then punish it with Helmet, and just can U-turn while it's forced to switch out. And I think Ogerpon Heartflame has a very, very good matchup in this team. There's no single mon which can resist both its type except Raging Bolt, for which he already has an answer for. It can just U-turn onto Moon, knock off for Petulant, or it can just go Stomping Tantrum if it needs to. On Leech, Ivy Cudgel just go bonkers into standard team. I think that's going to be a good bring here. I think and Fez is a very good defensive for Bolt as well. Whenever it needs to, the combination of Lando and Fizz can just shut down non-Terra Raging Bolt freely. Blastoise is very good to spin out any hazards. Standard has to set up and can force out some switches as well, like Tripedial if it chooses to come. And Terra Basque Legion is also good offensively once Raging Bolt is down. But I think a Specs Metal Bond Greninja is just gonna click buttons. And also I think it's gonna be a special Basque Legion just because of how standard team is weak to the special side, because like Basque Legion does not have a good physical move out in terms of Ghost outside Last Respect, which is banned in Draft League, so it can be a special Basque Legion female version as well with Shadow Ball, so it's able to take down Patcherant and like so on. For the side of standard, I think Raging Bolt needs to come at least to threaten Thunderclap to make some switches and force a battle bonded Greninja to go out and can just double into upcoming Lando, depending on that. Moon needs to come. I think a Scarf Moon punishes a non-Scarf Greninja, which is very good, and will be able to outspeed a Scarf Basque Legion, which I think comes here. A combination of Moon, Petulant, or like Raging Bolt, Scizor, and stuff, and that's the reason I think a Scarf, Terra's special defensive Shaman can show up this week. I think the matchup is very favored to DyeItTight this week with Specs Greninja, Battle Bond, or Choice Scarf Protein Battle Greninja. Either way, Ogerpon Heartflame needs to do a lot of breakings this week, so Greninja or Terra Basque Legion can clean up in the end. While for the standard, I think Moon needs to do a lot of breaking alongside Raging Bolt, so other mons like Enamorus or Scizor can put in work and get the win for his team. But I think it's gonna be a game for that. Let's move on to match number 4, which is gonna be Kurpie versus DapperSnapper. For this matchup, I think the biggest mons are gonna be Darkrai, D-Knight, Infernape, Terra, Armarouge, and Azumarill. I think the 6 for me are gonna be Scarf Darkrai to outspeed Deoxys, D-Knight, both the Terra captains Infernape and Slowbro, Glimora, and Sinisha can be a good bring for the side of Kurpie. While for Dapper, I think a Trick Room, Hatterene, Wittinglu, Halucha as the only mon to play outside Trick Room with Scarf Limber can be a good bring into a modest Scarf Darkrai, which is gonna be an almost bring here, or it can be even Ogerpon with Scarf, which outspeeds modest Scarf Darkrai by 1 speed and can just U-turn on his face. The last few mons on the side of Dapper I think could be Terra Armarouge, Azumarill, and Arachnid. I think Hatterene and Arachnid inside Trick Room, while Azumarill with Okka Jet once Sinisha is down or Dragonite is low enough can do a lot of damage, while Halucha or Ogerpon outside Trick Room with the Choice Scarf can do appropriate damage as well. So I think this matchup is strongly favored to Kurpie if you look at from the outside, because Darkrai Scarf is very good, but on the side if you go into Hard Trick Room, if DapperSnapper brings Hard Trick Room, according to me he has the dub in this game. Armarouge with weak armor, Halucha or Ogerpon either with a Choice Scarf can threaten Darkrai on modest and can just punish it outside Trick Room. This 3 mons can be outside Trick Room, while Azumarill can work on either inside or outside Trick Room with a Choice Band huge power set. Hatterene and Arachnid inside Trick Room are a big threat, due to which I think DapperSnapper has this game very close, but it favors him a lot if and only if he brings Hard Trick Room and leaves Deoxys out, because it's gonna be a great matchup for him if he does. While side of Kurpie, Dragon Dance D-Knight with E speeds is always good. even if it's Trick Room, if everything is chipped down, which I think Kurpie should be able to do that. It's very hard to bring extreme speed win con, especially going against a Psy spam team, because even though Dapper has not a single time brought his psychic terrain team once in the 4 weeks, it can be this week because like he is facing an extreme speed Dragonite, of course, so it can be a week for NDD psychic terrain to come. But if he banks on it and if he's able to play around Trick Room, Dragon Dance, E-Speed are gonna go bonkers, of course. But I think, yeah, DapperSnapper has it, and for me, the MVP are gonna be, for the side, are gonna be Azumarill. Yeah, Azumarill or Halucha, I would say. Let's move on to game number 5, which is gonna be between Dashing and A12. For Dashing and A12 Sneasler, we have a huge changes. So from the side of Dashing this week, so Sneasler, Terra, Cresselia for the side of Dashing are a big mons this matchup, while Palafin and Ogie Dogie from the side of A12 are gonna be huge this matchup. The 6 from the side of Dashing which could come here are gonna be Sneasler, Terra Cresselia, which is the newest Terra captain for him, Chiyu, Threads, Primarina, and Thunderous Tedium are the 6 which I think Dashing should bring or could bring. For A12, I think Palafin, Weavile, Ogie Dogie, Toxapex, Corvi, Golden Go. It can also be a Terra Dark Jolteon instead, so it does not lose to Calm Mind, Psyshock, Thunderbolt, and Recover / Moonlight Chris with Terra Poison, so it's unable to get poison or stalled out. With CM and healing, it can just Psyshock everything, and for the dark types, it's able to T-Bolt A12's team. The only issue with that is if Jolteon is Terra Dark with Volt Absorb, it just walls Cresselia. So if Jolteon comes and if it's Terra Dark, he needs to take that thing out, then Cresselia can just win on its own. Yeah, but in respect to other mons, I think Sneasler has a very good matchup this week. Once Palafin is brought down to HP, and especially with the help of Primarina, a full defensive Primarina with helmet can take a lot of jet punches and punish it back and force Palafin out, while Threads can punish the likes of Golden Go and Jolteon with Earthquakes, Ogie Dogie and Toxapex as well with Earthquakes. Sneasler with close combat, if it's Scarf, also helps a lot versus Weavile and stuff like that. Chiyu Scarf is gonna be always there with Flamethrower, and I think it's gonna be timid even though it can run modest, because Golden Go can run a Scarf to counter it. I think a Scarf, Chiyu, Threads, offensive Threads with booster energy, helmet, defensive Primarina, and Sneasler can come, of course. Cresselia, if the set which I talked comes and no Terra Dark Jolteon comes, I think Dashing has that up. So I will and on the side of A12, I think Palafin makes the cut, Weavile, Ogie Dogie, Toxapex, Corvi. These are the 6 mons which I think comes, and for me, I think the game goes to Dashing, and I'm just in favor of new changes with Terra captains. Terra Cresselia is gonna be very fun along with Terra Gothitelle we saw in DRey's matchup. So yeah, Cresselia for me is gonna be the MVP this week for Dashing. Let's move on to week number 5, game number 6, which is Steve versus DRey. Like I said, Terra Gothitelle is on the side of DRey. The biggest mon this matchup are gonna be Valiant, of course, Terra Chandelier, new Terra captain as well, because it been on the team for 1 week and was not brought up for the matchup, so it's new for me. Terra Gothitelle and me and Chuck are gonna be the biggest mon this matchup. Valiant, Kiram, Terra Shandy, Regieleki, Porygon, and either of Gliscor or King Gambit can be coming up for the side of Steve, because the Terra Ground Flashfire Chandelier can take out Rotom Heat for King Gambit, because it walls both of his stabs. For DRey, I think Garchomp is always needed, especially when you see a Regieleki on the opponent side. You have to bring your ground. Garchomp is gonna be there for sure, the defensive one. Tata Gothitel, AV or Colbur, Gloking, depending upon what Gloking's role is gonna be this week. Heat Tom, a Scarf PHO being able to just close combat or triple XL, most of the things. I think Scarf PHO is a very good bring, and the last could be either Terra Dondozo for Chandelier or Tinkerton or Mandibus, stuff like that. It can be either of those three for the last slot for the side of DRey. I think I'm gonna just in full favor of Steve, because he had just replaced a 0-3 -16 team and was able to pull a dub last week, and he's still in the contention of playoffs because we are getting 8 out of 12 teams for the playoffs. So he can still make out to the playoffs if he's able to win every single game from here and out. So I'm just gonna go hope Steve makes it, because it's gonna be a wonderful and a comical and a cinematic run coming up from the side of Steve. So I think Variant can be a booster endgame sweeper, because even if that forces bundle into a Scarf or booster, if it's booster, it's just forced out by King Gambit or Regieleki and stuff like that. Once a bundle is seen to be not Scarf and stuff like that, I think Valiant has a very good matchup with, even if it wants to go Swords Dance or Calm Mind, special or physical, it does not mind. Kyurem, especially with help of Freeze Dry, forces Dozo out because of how little special defense it has, and is very good versus bundle as well. I think Terra Chandelier can be a Scarf set to snipe bundle off. Porygon can be a good defensive mon in here, while Regieleki being the fastest mon, which can just being enough speed to outspeed bundle, non-boost like max speed bundle without any boosting item, which will help him figure out what sets those mons are and can help end game of Valiant. And I think Valiant will be the MVP for the game for Steve. And while DRey, I think a defensive hazard stacking from the side of Garchomp is a must. Terra Gothitel can always come in on any mon it wants to counter. Terra block it off, unable to make it switch, especially in terms of a choiced mon. If like stuff like Galarian Zapdos is choiced into a fighting or fighting move, it can just come in, stop it from switching, and just set up and kill it. Stuff like that could be very good. A Scarf Mienshao is gonna be picking up a lot of breaking points here, but I think the game will go to Steve with his Valiant in the end. I think that's it for all the matchups this week. I hope so. The last few matches were on the busy end. I had a very busy week this week, so sorry for the rush analysis this week. My bad if I slipped up here and there, but let's just brush it off. Let's see what are gonna be our picks for the week number 5. These are our picks which we picked for the week 5. TJ, Talon, Dapper, Dashing, and Steve winning the week number 5 games for their respective sides. And I hope we can get another 6 out of 6 after it's been 3 weeks. I've been not able to get clean record in Pickems, but I hope we can get it this week, because we are very close to playoffs. It's only a 7-week season, so 2 weeks after this and we're gonna enjoy playoffs. whichever 8 teams it is in the playoffs. Okay, so that's it for the video. I hope you guys are liking the videos. If you do, please make sure to like, share and subscribe. It really means a lot. Drop the comments and help me just cover up inputs and points which I'm missing. If you think like if I could do something differently, do let me know that. I will do my best to make it happen and give you the best possible videos out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's it, your Pro. Signing off, Professor Val. See you in next video.